Hello, this is Michael Beatman with your Gateway FS weekly wrap up for Friday, August 11th. We had a USDA report out today, but before we get to that, futures on the week, we're watching the September futures. On the wheat side, wheat was off 6.25 cents on the week. September beans were down 25 3/4, and then September corn was down 9 3/4. Most of that was actually today, post report. It was down 8 3/4. The September contract was. And beans closed in the red today as well as wheat. So the report wasn't necessarily negative. It just came in and met analyst expectations. And I guess nowadays that's a reason to take things lower. But the USDA came out with an average corn yield of 175.1 bushel per acre. That was off 2.4 bushels. And then on beans, they did lower the bean yield as well. They lowered it down to 50.9 on an average, and now they reduced that yield down 1.1 bushel. So they are recognizing a little bit of this, but it seems to me like it's a slow and steady, like almost like a kick the can down the road. If we are to see a pretty decent drop in yields, I'm not saying the USDA will acknowledge that, but I think the market might wake up if we're seeing much lower yields whenever the combines start rolling here in a couple months. Speaking of that, we did get a report that the southern states seem to have a really decent corn crop this year. I've heard estimates of 200 bushel per acre down there. Seems to be a bumper crop. Again, it depends on where you are, just like up here. But they did get some of those early rains that we missed, and so they're enjoying a decent crop. They will be going in the next couple weeks, and that has actually opened up a little bit of an anomaly in the corn market to where you have a carry out of September into October. So don't see this very often, and that's the reason I'm mentioning it. Usually you have a decrease in price from August to September, and then a further decrease in price from September to October. Now we're not in September yet, then we very well could see a lower October price. But right now, the way it's set up, it's almost like a V to where, again, higher August, lower September, higher October, and we just don't see that very often. We see October as the Midwest harvest month, and usually the time when basis is the worst. Again, this still could happen, but the anomaly's there right now, and I think it's recognizing a larger than average southern crop. And couple that with South America's really large crop, and corn basis really is not holding up well at all. Bean basis is okay, but it's still not. I wouldn't call it normal. I'd call it below normal basis on both commodities. So. On the wheat side, many locations are going to cut off storage next week, the 18th. A couple others will be the week after. So if you have any questions about wheat storage or just in general, we are not going to be taking wheat at locations after the 18th. If you have any questions, please contact your elevator manager, and they'll work with you and at least let you know the cutoff date. If you have any other questions, please feel free to give myself, Adam Parker, or Phil Sally a call at 282-4000. Thank you.